Hi family, we're back with travel updates. This time we are featuring Camino debriefing. So Camino debriefing began by an overnight flight. Fantastic. Highly recommend if you're going to do a long flight. More on that later. But we got on the plane. We had a super, long flight, no problem. Really no problem. You guys would be very proud of me because I didn't use... I brought them just in case, but I did not use any type of aid, any type of ease my nerves aid on the plane, except for the rosary. Now, let me tell you, crazy power in the rosary. Crazy amount of peace came over me, so that was really fantastic. After we got off the plane, it became June 8th. Hence overnight flight. Then we got on a bus and we went to, we were coming from Lisbon. We flew into Lisbon, went to Belém on the way, but ultimately we were headed to Fatima. But yes, we stopped in Belém because I think the main reason was because there's like a famous pastry there that they wanted to try, which we did do. So this is not the pastry. I ended up getting an almond cake because that was my gluten-free option. So I was super excited that I was able to try something there. It was pretty good. And then we also stopped and we looked at this church from the outside. And then there was this really cool monument of discoveries, something like that. And you can see that the exterior, so anyway, this part right here shows the cross of St. James. This is like the cross affiliated with Santiago and St. James in the Camino. So that was really cool. And we only had a very limited amount of time here. So the bus driver said, okay, do what you need to do, but be back here in 30 minutes. And we had, seriously, like 7 minutes left. And the monument was all the way on the other side. But I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I have to go see it. So I ran so fast down the stairs. Boom, 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 into the tunnel, boom. Then you, come out on the other side. And it was just so beautiful. Like, the craftsmanship was phenomenal. And then I ran back so fast. Boom, boom, boom. Get to the bus. And they're like, all right, it's going to be, another 3 hours on the bus. I don't know. It was a long time. I don't remember. But another long period of time on the bus. And I was like, all right, no problem. Can I use the bathroom on the bus? And he said, no. And I said, all right, no problem. I can hold it. And he's like, no, probably be best if you just, went to the bathroom. So I was on time. Luckily, they did not leave me, but I sprinted, and I'm talking sprinted. People were looking at me like, why is this girl running so quickly? But I ran through the city all the way to McDonald's, got to McDonald's, and then in Europe, I forgot about this. I did forget about this. You have to use your receipt to get into the bathroom, because remember, we pay for washrooms in Europe, which was just, I didn't have time for that. So this lady, divine timing, this lady was trapped behind the bathroom cage, and we didn't speak each other's languages, and we were trying to get her out of the bathroom cage, and we were having a terrible time, and I look, and I see this man snickering, and I recruited him. I said, young sir, if you might come this way and maybe help us solve the problem instead of snickering. And he also could not figure it out. So now we have two people trying to get this lady out of the bathroom cage. Then someone else came out of the bathroom and got everybody out of the bathroom cage. But I got to go in the bathroom for free. So that was really fantastic. Then I sprinted back. And that took care of the bathroom situation. And we continued on our route to Fatima. And on the way, I spotted something. I said, what is that? And I took a closer look. Jesus. Then once we got there and got settled, we went to the square. We explored a little bit. And then we went to the chapel, which was really, really cool. Because that was the spot where Mary appeared to the 3 children. And I just felt the presence of God immediately. I got chills immediately going into that chapel. And I was just really excited because one of the girls on the trip, I was telling her that I really want to get closer to Mary and I want to understand, you know, more of her role and everything. And she was like, Holly, just ask her. And I still get chills like just thinking about it because, I don't know, it was just really, really special. And it was also special because our deacon, Deacon Steve, he actually did the Mass. And everybody, when it was time for everyone to go up and get communion, when I'm in that type of situation and I'm not at my home parish, I'll just cross my arms because at our home parish, they have a separate cup for me because they know about celiac and everything. But obviously, like, you know, I'm out of the country, so I go and I cross my arms and I just receive a blessing. And everyone had gone to Deacon Steve, but I just kind of felt moved to go to this other priest, and I'm telling you, I like felt that blessing through my body. Like it was so I don't even know, sincere, I guess, but it was just a really, really cool Mass.
The ravens brought him bread in the morning and meat in the evening, and he quenched his thirst at the stream. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Then after Mass, we explored more of the square. We went into the basilica itself, and it was just beautiful. The craftsmanship is just beautiful. The altar especially, breathtaking. Like, that's insane. Also, all three of the children were buried there. These are their tombs. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful church. And then we did some other exploring. So if you cross the square and go down the secret tunnel, just up my alley, you'll find a secret chapel. And you'll actually find multiple, but this was one of them. And I just thought the crucifix here was very different. And there's also a museum dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Mary, which I got to learn a lot more about. And that exhibit especially is just really moving because it kind of just depicts how, I think it kind of goes back to, you know, when it says that when Jesus is pierced, your heart will be pierced too, and just how she just aches for us to be with Jesus and Jesus aches for us to be with him. But it was just so really, really cool. And here's some of the other exhibits. Like, these are letters from Lucia. This Sacred Heart was cool because it has, like, your reflection, rosary, lots of rosaries. Picture did not do that justice. This was a really moving portrait of Jesus. And crown of thorns. And then just some other cool artwork that I thought was pretty moving. That's Mary and Jesus. You can see her heart there. That's all made out of paper, which I just thought was fun. Then we explored the town a little bit, and then we did the candlelight procession, which was so cool because, one, it was packed, and all of these people are speaking different languages, and you're all there for the same reason. And, you know, like, they would say the rosary, and then everyone would just respond in their own language, and it was just so cool. And then after that, once the rosary concluded, they bring out a crucifix and a Mary, and it's kind of just a procession around the whole square, and you all follow together as a big group. That was a pretty cool experience to be a part of for sure. I was having serious candle issues. Actually, before we even started, my whole candle dissolved. And yeah, that was almost an emergency. We're like blowing it. I was the only one that happened to. I don't even know how that happens. And then once that ended, it was about 10:30, and I just remember looking up at the sky and seeing the crucifixes, and it was raining sideways, and it was just really cool to see. Like, imagine just, you know, big crucifixes everywhere you look, on top of the church and all over the town, and there's just rain. I don't know, I feel like that's what it could have maybe been like on that horrible Friday, Good Friday. But yeah, at the end, you put your candle into the big flame, and then they all become one flame again. So it was super cool day.